this chapter explores a variety of advanced meditation techniques drawn from each of the 4 basic types of meditation: concentration, observation, contemplation, and devotion. The topics discussed in this chapter touch upon some of the most profound teachings found in the traditions of Vedanta and yoga. As a result, the following exercises are more difficult than those in previous chapters. So it's really important that you practice the prior exercises thoroughly before proceeding here. In this lesson, we come to the last of Patanjali's 8 limbs or angas, Samadhi, the ultimate goal of his system of meditation. Patanjali describes how Samadhi is reached like this. Sarvarta kshaya, withdrawal of your attention from everything, and ekagrata udaya, attaining one-pointedness of mind. Chittasya samadhi parinamaha, leads to the mental state of samadhi. You might remember a metaphor used earlier in this course that compared your power of attention to a flashlight beam. When a flashlight casts a wide beam, everything in front of it is illumined. The unfocused attention of an untrained mind is like this wide beam, wide open to all kinds of distractions. But when a flashlight throws a very narrow beam, it illumines one thing alone, and everything else gets plunged into darkness. Based on this principle, when your mind is trained to concentrate very narrowly on an object of meditation, on an alambana, you become free from all distractions. In that sutra, Patanjali introduces an additional factor, chitta ekagrata, one-pointedness of mind. Ekagrata is the highest possible degree of concentration, like a flashlight beam focused to the size of a pinpoint. This one-pointedness of mind is gained through extensive practice of yoga's first 7 limbs, all of which prepare you for Samadhi. What exactly is Samadhi? In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says it is yatha dipo, like a lamp, nivatasto, in a windless place, nengate, that never flickers. When the flame of a candle or lamp is absolutely motionless, it can look like it's somehow painted on space. That perfectly still, brightly shining flame represents a mind absorbed in Samadhi. To understand Samadhi properly, we have to go beyond the flashlight analogy. The difference between ordinary meditation and Samadhi is like the difference between a flashlight and a laser. The beam of a flashlight is made of random, scattered light waves, but in a laser beam, every light wave is absolutely identical and perfectly aligned. So too, in Samadhi, your mind is perfectly focused on your alambana, your object of meditation, and your concentration reaches a state of perfection. A laser beam is not only precisely focused, but it has incredible power as well. That light has a power of 40 watts. If this laser pointer had as much power, it would burn a hole right through my hand. That describes the power of your mind when it's absorbed in Samadhi. So far, we've discussed the extraordinary degree of concentration reached in Samadhi. But there's another aspect that's equally important. Samadhi is a state of absorption. You become utterly absorbed in the object of meditation. You merge with it. Let me explain. There's usually a clear distinction or separation between you, the meditator, and your object of meditation, the alambana. This mental distance between you and the alambana gradually diminishes and finally disappears entirely in a state of samadhi. Then the alambana alone remains. Patanjali describes this extraordinary state in a sutra. Tadeva artha matra nirbhasam. When the alambana alone remains present in your mind, swarupa shunyamiva, and your individual nature seems to be absent, that is the state of samadhi. In samadhi, only the object of meditation remains. You, the individual meditator, are absent then. How can that happen? It's not as strange as you might think. You've probably had the experience of gazing into a pitch-black sky filled with thousands of shining stars and feeling yourself somehow slipping away and getting lost in the vastness. Or you might have listened to music so breathtaking that you found yourself getting lost in its soaring melodies and entrancing rhythms. These examples show how you can get lost in an experience. And that's an example of absorption. Now consider this. When you get lost while listening to music or gazing at the stars, you still hear the music. You still see the stars. So, who gets lost? According to the teachings of Vedanta, that which disappears in a state of absorption is your ego, your ahankara, to use the proper Sanskrit term. The word ego is actually the Latin pronoun I, and the word ahankara literally means the maker of I. Both of these words refer to your feeling of being an individual person, your sense of individuality, the sense of I-ness. When you get lost while listening to music or gazing at the stars, your ahankara, your ego or sense of I-ness, temporarily disappears. Your ahankara also temporarily disappears in samadhi. In that state, the ego-based individual meditator is completely absent, and the alambana alone remains. This remarkable state seems to involve a strange paradox. Reaching samadhi takes a lot of practice and a lot of effort. Without willful effort, you can't practice the 7 limbs of yoga that lead you to samadhi. But when you reach samadhi, your ahankara, your ego or sense of I-ness, disappears. And along with it, your willpower itself disappears. You can't engage in any kind of willful effort in a state of absorption. For example, as long as you're lost in listening to music or gazing at the stars, you can't carry on a conversation or check your emails. You can't even think about anything. You can only enjoy the experience. In the same way, when you're absorbed in samadhi, you can't engage in any willful activity. That means you can't focus your attention. You can't watch your breath. You can't even recite a mantra. Then how can you continue to meditate while you're in Samadhi? Well, the fact is, you're perfectly capable of doing many things without willful effort. For example, when you're driving a car and come to a stop sign, you automatically press down on the brake pedal. You don't have to think, now I have to press down on the brake pedal. You do it instinctively, without willful effort. You don't need willful effort because your mind is well trained to drive a car safely. In the same way, when your mind is well trained to meditate, it can perform a meditation technique without willful effort. Then, when you get absorbed in Samadhi and you're no longer able to perform willful activity, your mind can take over and automatically continue to perform the meditation technique. Obviously, a lot of prior practice is required to train your mind to this degree. To reach Samadhi, there's a crucial transition that you have to make. The transition from dhyana, meditation, which requires willful effort, to Samadhi, absorption, in which you cease making willful effort. The following exercise can help you make that transition. In this exercise, you'll learn to practice mantra japa without willful effort. We'll start by chanting a mantra we've used before. Om Ishaya Namaha. Salutations to Isha, to God. Then, when your mind is firmly established in reciting the mantra, you can try to stop making willful effort and let your mind take over the recitation. For this exercise, it's best if you sit in a place that's suitable for meditation. You can listen to this exercise using a laptop computer, a tablet, or a mobile device like your phone. This exercise is also available as a podcast or download from our website using the links in the video description below. I hope you are now seated comfortably in a suitable place. This exercise will take about 10 to 15 minutes. First, sit with a proper posture, as we discussed before. Close your eyes gently and take a deep breath to get settled down. Now, make a sankalpa to affirm your intention and commitment to meditate. Acknowledge the fact that you have many unfulfilled responsibilities and issues that need to be addressed. Since you don't want to be distracted by those things during this meditation, you can give yourself permission to set all those concerns aside just for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Next, we'll perform the progressive relaxation exercise, like in previous lessons. Start by turning your attention to your feet. Become aware of sensations there. Notice a sense of pressure as your feet press down. Notice the touch of your clothing and feelings of warmth or coolness. Now, become aware of any tension that might be held in the muscles of your feet, and let go of that tension. Allow those muscles to relax completely. Next, turn your attention to your ankles and calves. Notice sensations of pressure, the touch of your clothing, warmth or coolness. Become aware of any tension held in the muscles of your ankles and calves, and let go of that tension completely. Next, turn to your knees and thighs. Notice the weight of your hands or arms where they rest. Notice any other sensations. Become aware of any tension held in your knees and thighs, and let go of that tension completely. Next, turn to the trunk of your body. Feel the weight of your body pressing down. Feel the firmness of the seat beneath you. Let go of any tension. Next, turn to your lower back and stomach together. Become aware of sensations. Let go of any tension. Now turn to your upper back and chest. Become aware of sensations and let go of any tension. Now your shoulders, arms, and hands. Become aware of sensations and let go of any tension. Finally, your neck, face, the muscles around your eyes, at your temples, and across your forehead. Let go of any tension. Now we'll chant the mantra Om Ishaya Namaha, salutations to God. Chant silently as you listen to me. Concentrate your attention on the sound and meaning of the mantra. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 Now, for the next minute or so, continue chanting the mantra silently without me, concentrating your attention on the sound and meaning of the mantra. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 Again, for the next minute or so, continue chanting the mantra silently, without me, concentrating your attention on the sound and meaning of the mantra. Now, instead of using willful effort to chant the mantra, try to let your mind take over the recitation. Allow your mind to continue chanting automatically. Instead of chanting the mantra, you can simply observe it as it's being chanted by your mind. Don't chant the mantra, just observe it. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 Now, for the next minute or so, continue chanting silently, without me. Allow your mind to continue chanting automatically. Don't chant the mantra, just observe it. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 For one more minute before we conclude, continue chanting silently without me. Allow your mind to continue chanting automatically. Don't chant the mantra, just observe it. Now, as we conclude this exercise, just listen to these closing remarks. You can practice this technique whenever you want, listening to this exercise again, or without it. If you practice it independently, you can use any mantra you like and recite it silently. In the next lesson, we'll discuss the well-known meditation on Who Am I?